today we are doing our long hair roller set. So if you want to take out your demo sheet, I will go over everything that you need for this service for your client. Okay? The first thing you're going to need is you're going to write where it says demonstration title up at the top of the page. You're going to write long hair roller set. Long hair roller set. The project due date, it's always 3 days after, but we're not here on Friday. So we're going to split it. Are we going to have them do it Tuesday when they come back, or are we going to have them do it Wednesday? If you want to turn it in Wednesday, that is fine. If you need to work on it and get it done next Tuesday, we'll have it done next Tuesday, but your projection date is the 20th. Okay? The list of supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need red rollers. Can everybody see the red ones? You're going to need at least 7. This is just a rough estimate on what I got in our actual finished style. Okay? So you may need 1 or 2 more. You may need 1 or 2 less. You're going to need 6 teal rollers. So 6 teal. You're going to need 7 tan rollers. You'll need 6 yellow. You're going to need 3 orange. Five blue. You're going to need your standard comb. I have 2 up here because I like to drop stuff. You're going to need the plastic rat tail. Make sure this is the rat tail you're using and you're not using the foiling rat tail comb. Because there is a foiling comb that has a metal end. That's not what you're using. You're using the plastic rat tail. You will need at least 2 butterfly clips. You will need your dual purpose clips. I said 20 to 25. You may need a little bit less or a little bit more. You're also going to need a bowl so that you can put gel in it. Okay? You will also need a color brush so that you can apply the gel to the hair strands when you're doing your rollers. Everybody has hand sanitizer at their station. That is the very first thing you do before you touch your client, is you sanitize your hands. All of this stuff has been sanitized and cleaned, and it is ready to be used on this service. If we drop something, what do we do? Braylon? Put it in the ship shape. If it's plastic, the metal you would spray with the spray barbicide spray. But you don't pick it up and reuse it. You go get another tool if you've dropped it. Does anybody have an idea on why we would be doing a long hair roller set? What do you think our goal is for this? Do you think maybe volume? Yeah? So where do you think, looking on our mannequin, the best part or place to start would be mid. Remember when we did our center parts and we did our left and right part? This is going to be directly between the bridge of the nose and the eyebrows. That's where you're gonna start. By taking our standard comb, you are going to look at your mannequin, grabbing a red roller. Why do we grab a roller? What is the importance of grabbing this, Abigail?
We can measure.
So we can measure. You want a nice clean parting, and you want a nice clean roller set. If you can see, it's very smooth the whole way throughout. That is very important in your finished style. The first thing you're gonna do is I'm going to take, I can't see, I'm too short. I'm gonna take the roller and I'm going to use my standard comb and I'm going to make a parting. I am then going to replace the roller and I'm gonna take my standard parting, or my standard comb again and make a clean, crisp parting from the eyebrow straight to the back of the head. Now I have this section of hair. How do I know how long to make that parting from front to back? I'm also going to use the width. I used the length of my roller for the first section to part. Now I'm going back in and I'm going to use the width of my roller to get the part. So I'm going to take my roller, I'm going to set it by the hair, and I'm going to go behind the roller using my standard comb to make my parting. So when you lift that hair up, your roller should fit right on the scalp of the head. Does everybody see how it fits right on? Because the hair is longer, you want to make sure that you clip the other hair out of your way. If you want to just use one clip and put it in a ponytail type, you can. Taking your butterfly clip, you're just going to clip all that excess hair out of the way. The only thing I have now available to work with is the piece that I'm putting on my roller. You want to make sure that you are completely saturating this hair. That means front and back of the hair. You're going to do the sides. And you want to make sure you're coming away from your client's face. You don't want to drip gel on your client's face. Yes?
Do you have to use water for that?
No, we're using gel. Yes. You'll take your roller and you'll slide it the whole way up to the very end of where the hair strand is. Sometimes you will have pieces of hair that kind of fall down. You can take your roller, hold it with the exact tension, take your color brush, dip it into your gel, apply more gel where there are pieces that are flyaway. When you're applying the end of the hair, you want to take it all the way out. Can everybody see how that hair is nice and smooth? There's no fish hooks. Those end pieces are really nice and smooth on the hair. With the same amount of tension, I'm just going to very slowly walk that hair down onto the roller. There's a little bit of gel coming off on the roller. You can wipe it off and then wipe it off onto a towel that you have onto your station. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dual purpose clip and I'm going to securely clip the roller to my client's hair. Do you see how that roller does not move? Do you see how it's locked in place? It's very important to make sure you're securing the rollers. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my standard comb. Again, using a roller, I'm going to measure. You're sticking with your red. Why am I going to red? Isley.
This volume in front.
Yes, and we go largest roller and end in smallest roller. Why do you think we use the smallest roller on the napes of the neck and around the hairline? It's shorter hair, yes. Does anybody have any questions so far up to this point? Does anybody need anything repeated on what I said about the roller set?
Is there anybody that needs to come over and take a peek?
Yes, do
See
you
what
need to,
Mrs. Goggles doing?
do you need to come up and look? You
We're
guys
all
can
able
come
to
up and
see.
look at it. Now, if you notice, I just set my roller back down. I'm not setting it on a table, I'm setting it on a clean towel because my parting was a slight bit off. That happens, so then you go back in and you re-part the hair, making sure that it's a clean, crisp parting. Again, the next thing I do is I measure the width of the roller that I'm going to be using. Placing it back down on the sanitary towel, away from my client. I'm starting at the root, and I'm working my way up to the ends of the hair strand. Why is it important to saturate the hair on the roller? Does anybody know? Go ahead. So what? Yeah, so it stays on the roller and it will hold your style in place until you comb it out. So again, proper tension. I'm rolling those ends straight down, not loosening up, not moving, and I'm taking it straight down to the scalp. Using my dual purpose clip, again, right to the scalp, making sure that roller doesn't move. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how to do the sides as well, because this just follows back. You follow your rollers using the pre-done one that we have. You're going to follow, we go red, teal, tan, yellow, orange, blue, largest to smallest. You'll notice there are small rollers in here that are half size. That is to get that apex part of your hair when you're trying to do the roller set. You'll have a small triangle that's left. That's when you can insert those smaller rollers, those half size rollers, okay? Moving on to the side, I'm still gonna do the same thing that I did with my red roller. I'm going to measure on the hairline straight down. So now I know this is where my roller is going to go. I'm also going to take my time and measure the width of my roller. So we have length and width. Using my standard comb, I'm going to go in and fix my parting. I'm going to make sure that I comb it out very gently. Remeasure, measure the length, and we're good to go. So I'm going to set my roller back down on the table, on the clean towel, grab more gel from my color bowl. Using the color brush, I'm just going to saturate that hair. Some people were talking about flyaways or loose pieces of hair on the short hair roller set. If you use the gel, notice I'm going away from my client's face. You always want to protect your client. You always want to perform a service in a safe manner for your client. Again, I'm going to use proper tension. I'm going to take it to the whole end of the roller. Even if they're little baby hairs, you're just going to keep the same tension and you're just going to roll it down, straight down, and lock it in place. The next one we're going to do is a teal one, because if you notice, her hairline gets thinner. There's less hair, so we're able to move down. Yes?
Why don't we use water like we did on the short hair website?
We shouldn't have You should have just used gel.
No, we use water and gel, because they had us wet the hair and then we put the gel in.
Oh, I always just use gel. Mrs. Rozicki,
Yeah, sorry.
she said, why don't we use water with the gel?
You can do it wet, it makes your gel go a little bit farther along, but sometimes it's harder to see the amount of gel you have in there.
Yes.
Typically, if you're gonna do a roller set in a salon, your customer's gonna get shampooed first,
Yes.
and then their hair is gonna be wet.
And you'll put a mousse or a product on top of the gel as well when you're in a salon. I like to see and feel my gel because then I know that I have proper saturation from root to end. That's why I don't use water, because it could look like this could look really wet and have very little gel. So when I go to do my comb out, I don't have enough product, so that piece isn't gonna maintain the shape that I want it to maintain. That's why we put it in the dryers, or we let them dry overnight. You guys are here every other day, so you have time to dry, because if you comb it out wet, it will lose that shape. I didn't let anybody use water when I was telling people. That's my bad. I choose to feel the product. I like to see it. I like to feel it. I like to know the amount that I'm using. So that's my personal preference. But if you feel like it's easier for you to use water, then you can use water. If you notice, I clipped the hair in the back out of my way. When you're clipping hair out of your way, it makes your job easier. You're not pushing hair constantly, and you can focus on the section you're using. Now, because she does have less hair available here, I'm not gonna put another red roller. I'm gonna move right down to the next size, which is your teal roller. So I'm gonna measure it here. I can kind of, like, I know where I'm going with my roller sizes, but right here, if you notice, when I parted it, it was kind of crooked, so you want to go back in, and you can use your rat tail or you can use your standard comb to smooth that line and make it a straight, clean, crisp parting, okay? Again, you will use gel on your hair. Do not put your roller on the table. Use it on a clean sanitary towel. You'll start at the root away from the face, and you'll just make sure you have that piece completely saturated from roots to end. If you have some flyaways, you can go in on an angle and use your brush to get that flyaway to go into where your parting's going to be. Again, you're gonna take your roller all the way up to the end, making sure you don't have any fish hooks, making sure it's nice and smooth. With the proper tension, you're gonna roll your roller straight down until you reach to your scalp. You can place in the front or in the back. I go in the back to make sure that it's secure. You can also use 2 on 1 to hold them in place if you want to. Does anybody have any questions? Does everybody know what they're supposed to do for the long hair roller set? Make sure you have these. Keep these with you. They will go in your yellow folder and then go into your white binder. This is all the instructions on what you're doing for a long hair roller set. So you want to make sure that you have it. Nobody has any questions. Everybody's ready to get started. All right. Thank you.